Welcome back. You're still watching Metropole Television. My name is Elijah Charles Kienge. For those who are joining us just right now, this is Metropole Television, but most certainly business. This is your official sector trends this morning. So we get to tell you exactly what is trending in other parts of the Kenyan industries and sectors as well. Now, in Kenya, most job advertisements would require one to be part of a professional body that is related to their chosen profession. Now, question this morning, therefore, is that are there any benefits to joining a professional body, and is it as important as it is titled to be? Now, joining us in this conversation is Peter Wairegi, who's the chairman of the Kenya Professional Association. Mr. Wairegi, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Simba.
Happy to have you around, man. It's been a long time since we had a sit down for a conversation.
That is very true, but I'm glad to be here.
Happy to have you around as well. Let me begin from this perspective, because the conversation this morning is on the benefits of being a member of a professional real estate body. Fine, but let me begin from the Kenya Professional Realtors Association. Who are you, and what are you intending to achieve within the real estate sector?
Thank you, Simba, for inviting me. Number one, around 2012, when I returned there from America, I was teaching at KC University, and we did a research, and we found that in Kenya, there is a big challenge of consumers and the industry misgiving on agency and representation. There was an issue of credibility. I think when I was doing the research, they are called briefcase salespeople. So to bring credibility and raise the bar, several of us and some of the industry leaders started the KPRA, which is the Kenya Professional Realtors Association. A realtor is an internationally recognized body who promotes buying, selling, and also access to real estate. So KPRA, therefore, aims to be the collective force that will provide that credibility in the industry, mainly through training, education, networking, and of course working with other agencies. So joining a professional body is very critical to gaining credibility and providing valuable services in Kenya, including employment and contributing to the Kenyan economy.
Yes. Fantastic. That's a very good introduction. So would you say that some of these areas that you mentioned this morning, especially when you were actually studying this association, have they been continuously addressed by the association, would you say?
Yes, they have. Actually, from 2015, 2016, 2018, 2019, we have done some training which are really intended to help promote good governance,
yes,
a code of conduct. The majority of consumers want to work with professionals. So our main aim is to improve their professionalism. And you cannot do that if you don't have a code of conduct and you don't have proper training and advocacy, knowing we are here to promote the Kenyan dream of home ownership, and also work both with the government and the private sector to bring to reality that the industry can be a credible industry. And we can learn from East Park, the Kenya Institute of Bankers, where I'm a fellow, that we need now in the real estate where things were not mismatched, we need to raise the bar so that we can get more credibility from the consumer and contribute to the industry. Now, yes, let me say that over 75% of global wealth is in real estate. So real estate is big, and is a big part of the economy, both here and also in the international market.
So this push for professional bodies within the real estate sector, would you say it has been occasioned by the consumer or the marketers themselves? Who's leading this push to work with people who belong to a professional body?
I think it's both, because people that are in the marketplace are demanding more accountability. And then for many of us who have traveled overseas, yes, and we have seen the system working, we now need to demand that even our industry raise up to the level where it's actually efficient, it's effective, and it's actually professional. So it's not just a local demand or consumer demand, it's also business demand in corporate governance. You cannot have a company misusing resources and collecting money from consumers and not finishing projects. So we need to train the developers and those involved in the industry that there's some ethics involved. There is also a level of professionalism involved, so that we can continue to contribute to this economy. So professionalism is key in every industry, not just real estate.
Got this question yesterday as well on this particular subject. Bigger companies that have been known to have sort of some code when it comes to their operation, which one would you rather? Are they the ones that are pushing to have their own code, or these bodies also the ones that are pushing to have a certain code? Should these companies also join these bodies, or the companies could be big and have just their own code for their clientele?
I think it's both. We have both an individual membership, we have a corporate membership, and also we work with other organizations. So professionalism, it starts from an individual level.
Yes.
But the main push should come from the organization and companies, including from the government, who are intended in creating a level playing field and also providing this initiative of affordable housing. So all those are important. But the consumers in Kenya, if you say you are an agent or you're a broker, they shy away from you. Why? Because we have a credibility issue. And the way to bring that up to par is to bring a code of conduct. That's why the professional body's role is to bring credibility in this industry.
Pretty much. Since we're talking about it, then let's just know the process. Should I, as a real estate sector player, want to join the Kenya Professional Realtors Association, what would it take for me to be a member, and what are the benefits that I will get?
Thank you, Simba, for that question. We have a website, kprakenya.co.ke. And within that website, you see the different level of membership from associate to professional.
Yes.
If you are a brokerage firm, there is so joining is not difficult. Just contact KPRA, and also they can call your station. Tabitha and others there can give them our contacts. But my suggestion is that we need to start from individual level, professional level, and then business level.
Yes.
And if we do that, then we'll be able to clean up this industry and bring it up to where it needs to be. If you look at it in the international arena, both in US, UK, South Africa, Singapore, all of them have these professional bodies. So it's not just in Kenya we're advocating for it, but it's where the world is going. And if we do that, then we'll be able to achieve the Kenyan dream.
Yes.
We'll achieve the affordable housing, the reforms we are looking for, and the development, and including entrepreneurship, growth, and investment. So real estate, now the REIT market is there, so the fundings are coming into play. If we work together, we can even bring additional funding in this country from both the diaspora remitters. Over 60% of the money sent by the diaspora, which is about 33 billion, is going to real estate. Almost 60% of that goes to real estate. So it's important that the industry provides some credibility and growth.
So when we look at the powers that a professional body in the real estate sector is given, could you explain to us this morning? Because for anybody who's listening, then the question is going to be, do you have the powers to weed out the unprofessional players within that particular sector? Or you're saying if majority of members come on board, then would achieve this professional code that we're trying to push for in the market?
Now, in Kenya, we have the Estate Agents Act. There's an estate agency body,
yes,
where a majority of people have to register. Then with the KPRA, we are a professional association who provides training and education to those involved in the industry. So I can say that we actually need more regulation and we need more streamlining so that those involved in the business are either licensed, they are registered, you know who they are,
yes,
they are not fly by night. So there is an existing act that is not sufficient. So what we are advocating for is more licensing so that the characters or the professionals involved in the industry are well known. But most importantly, they are properly trained and they are following a code of conduct or a code of ethics. So the push should come from both from the private sector
Yes.
and also from the government, because the government should create that level playing field and the access to for those who want practice this real estate. But at the same time, the professional body should provide proper training and networking opportunity for those in the industry. So I think we need to work together. But for right now, we are falling below because we don't have the proper regulations, and also we don't have enough training to grow these professions. And real estate is a career. Many people in this career is a huge layer of suppliers and developers involved in this. So we need to do more to bring this professionalism up.
So when you look at a professional body, how much accountable is it to the market?
It should be accountable because, if you are a member of KPRA and you have as a consumer, you have a problem and our number,
yes.
we provide some arbitration, we provide linkages, because as you know, many of us, Simba, if you're trying to buy a property and you're buying from an agent who then inflates the price, that is what the reputation has been. We need to reverse that and become more credible. And also in real estate, there is a word in the French word called covet emptor.
Yes.
Let the buyer beware. Now, there's idea that let the buyer beware. I think the agency should provide credible information, become a representative of the consumer, and represent consumers' best interest, not jacking the prices up and not being credible industry. So we have a lot of work to do to gain the confidence of the consumer and also to be credible. That's how the professional body comes in. And I think it should start from the private sector before we demand this from the government.
Pretty much. But there have been a lot of talks about how the real estate sector in the country is not even at the level where it needs to be, even in terms of that professional code and also being properly accountable to the market. Do you believe that lack or that lag in extending this regulation is exactly what is the causal factor there is? And Mr. Waregi, from what you said this morning, is there, I would like to say, goodwill to make sure that this regulation is actually passed?
Well, I would say for now, no, but I think from the KPRA side and our affiliates, we are working very hard between now and the next 24 months.
Yes.
I think we need to be able to get the proper licensing, proper legislation, but at the same time, if those involved in the industry are to join a professional body, I think they will have an impact in what should happen in their own career and their own industry. And therefore, I think we have a lot of work to do before we can get to a level where somebody like you, Simba, you feel comfortable working with an agent,
yes.
Working in this industry where the industry gets some credibility. Now, the Ministry of Lands is doing a good job in introducing these reforms, and those reforms will also go toward adding more credibility in the industry. So we have a lot of work to do, but we at KPRA are committed to providing a level where this industry is growing, where this industry is professional, and where this industry is providing some investment opportunities. Real estate is big business. Therefore, let's not take for granted that things will work on their own. So we need to join forces with all the industry professionals to bring this industry to where it needs to be, in a credible, effective, and which will do a good job in this country.
Yes, but I mean, real estate is a career as well. We do know that, and you've said some of the benefits of joining a professional real estate body could be you're also getting trained on exactly how to even run your career. Would you say, to what level does this training promise other professional opportunities within the real estate sector?
Of course, the first one is what is called best business practices. That's
yes.
Number one. The other one is communication in terms of providing important information to the consumer. Of course, the other one is providing new technologies and new information in the marketplace to help developers and owners when they're trying to do construction. Also affordable housing, to provide information on not affordability, but also access to finance. Also how to manage your credit.
Yes.
One of the big problems I'm listening is a lot of people cannot get credit because they're on CRB. Why are they there? Poor management practices. So as you say, Simba, training and continuous education is key. Even
yes.
in medicine, doctors take continuing education. in accounting, in legal fraternities. I think even in real estate, we need that continuous training and communication so that we actually are doing a better job to be able to achieve these goals we have set for affordable housing and also growing employment in real estate.
So when we look at that regulation aspect that is not really materialized into something that we can carry on, can you paint for me a picture, Mr. Waregi, should this regulation go through? What are some of these sport-on challenges that you're actually seeing within the real estate sector that are going to be solved immediately once we have a regulation that empowers professional real estate bodies like yours?
That is a great question, Simba, because if you look at the other industry, like accounting, in East Park is there. If you look at human resources, HR is there. If you look at banking, you have Kenya Institute of Bankers. In the industry, you see, at the real estate, the Estate Agent Act of 1985 is not sufficient. It doesn't have the teeth and has not done a good job in providing a higher level of professionalism in the industry. So KPRAs has come on board to work with both the government agencies like Estate Agent, the Ministry of Housing and Infrastructure to actually now provide not only training, but also to register and to also start doing consumer advocacy so that, as I said earlier, so we can have credible business practices in the industry. So this code of conduct or ethic is not what the current law enforces. And therefore, as a professional body, working with both the state agency board and the other ministries, I think we have a lot of work to do so that we can have a proper licensing. So everybody that is in real estate, whether in sales or marketing, should be registered and to become a member of a professional body. If we do that, you will see that many people will respect and also want to work with agents. But for right now in Kenya, people prefer to work with the individual directly because of that, what I gave you, let the buyer beware. The agency has not done a good job to represent the consumer, and as a result, they have lost favor with the consumer. We need to do a better job, but I think everybody should be registered, they should be licensed, and education, regular education should be required, and continuing education should be required.
Yes. Mr. Waregi, another question that I normally run into is that when we are even trying to think about this legislation that we need to push into the real estate sectors, that we have empowered professional bodies within it, people say the real estate sector is big now and it's expanding day in, day out. Do you envision us having different bodies that touch on different aspects within the real estate sector, or just one umbrella body that would have a wing of these other different subsectors within the bigger sector of real estate? What do you envision, Mr. Waregi?
That's a good question. I think in terms of real estate sales and marketing, I think that a professional body like KPRA would suffice. When you come to developers and other people in the marketplace, the suppliers, KPDA is there. We have bodies already. I think what is happening in Kenya is we don't subscribe to them. We have a body that represents developers. And then when you look for accounting, we have ISPAC. I think what I'll propose is that the KPRA with the other existing bodies like KPDA, ISPAC, Kenya Institute of Bankers, the Kenya Institute of Insurance, manufacturers, the Association of Manufacturers, if we were to work together, I think we'll provide what we are agreeing is that we need a higher level of professionalism. I don't think we need more bodies. I think we need the bodies that are there to be effective. And number one, make education and certification the key element. And then provide some consumer advocacy, equal housing opportunities. I think the agency we have okay if we have proper standards and most importantly, proper legislation and licensing for all those in this practice.
Interesting, this morning you mentioned that these bodies are there and they've actually been in existence. What would you say has been their undoing in terms of getting subscriptions to these bodies? Would you say it's just down to that legislation that is not really making it mandatory for any player in the sector to be registered to a professional body?
Well, I think the conversation we are having now is good. Because it will be also good to actually talk to consumers and see what is it that they would like to see. I mean, as you provide services to the consumer, you need their input. So we need to have those interactions with them. And also, the Bankers Association the banker, the people who provide financing, and also the other industries. We need to be able to work together. But what I'll say to you is not a lack of commitment, but is a lack of structure.
Yes.
And then in our culture, we have been used to doing shortcut. We need to stop doing shortcuts. And it's just like you won't go to a doctor who is not properly trained. Why would you go to an agent who is not a member of a professional body?
Yes.
So we as consumers need to demand that whoever is representing us has proper professional standards. And there's a fallback. So that is not this consumer beware, and that the person you're working with may not be able to deliver what they're supposed to deliver.
Yes.
Let us as consumer demand more integrity, more accountability, and I think the professional body like KPRA will provide that haven. Therefore, I am suggesting to anybody on our industry to be part of a professional body. And as I mentioned, there are many bodies, but they are not subscribing to them because the consumer have not demanded it. So we need to start demanding professionalism in our industry.
Pretty much. Mr. Robege,
Yes.
you know I cannot have a conversation with you on the real estate sector before I ask you on exactly where we are. I mean, we got to the coronavirus pandemic when the real estate sector was, I would say, reshaping. So where are we now? What's your outlook of this particular sector?
Well, as you already know, Simba, that's a very good question. A lot of the people in the real estate industry, both in hospitality, in the commercial arena, have really suffered some decline. There's a lot of vacancies in the commercial real estate buildings. A lot of agents, people could not meet face to face, so
Yes.
the business has gone online. I think it's been good. Sometimes a challenge provides opportunity. Now people are realigning their real estate portfolios. I am involved in an organization called SAT, who is doing repurposing, because you cannot have buildings that are 50% occupied. So I think the pandemic brought to us to start questioning, is this the highest and best use of your property? And I think this organization called SAT, S-A-T, will go toward helping people who are invested in this real estate to start doing their due diligence and also diversify their portfolio. But I would say this, real estate continue to be key in the economy. Housing is a demand, whether it's pandemic or not. I think what has changed is just the way we are doing business.
Yes.
You and I are doing an interview online. Before I'll be sitting in your studio. But this is still very effective. Therefore, I think we need to embrace the new changes and know that changes are constant and they're there.
Yes.
And I tell you, Simba, I think this industry is going to grow better because of the challenges that we have been forced to encounter the last 2 years.
Yes.
I look at a future, a bright future. But in Kenya, let's start looking at the Kenyan dream of home ownership, like the American dream. And to do that, we need access to finance, affordable housing, high quality material, good workmanship, and a change in our culture where we ourselves are policing ourselves so that we do a better job for not only our consumer, but for our community and then
Yes.
for our country. Yeah.
Lastly now, do we expect that the land segment, which we do know that in this country is the one that has been pushing the performance of the real estate sector, to continue being the one that performs under the real estate sector? And is it about to change anytime soon? Because, Mr. Bragi, we see land keeps on selling and keeps on sort of buoying the real estate sector.
Yeah. We need some reforms. We need some reforms. And as you said, one of the biggest challenges to affordable housing and access to housing is cost of land.
Yes.
And then also this urban migration. We need to, now that we have devolution, we need to expand and give more to the counties to grow each city. Now, greatly, our infrastructure is actually expanded so that if you want to do business, you can do business whether you're in a different county. You don't have to come to Nairobi. You can be in Machakos and grow your business there. You could be in Nakuru. You can be in Nyeri. You can be in Nanyuki. That is going to make, is a changer. It's a game changer. This new highway to the airport, the freeway to the airport is going to make a big difference in terms of time. I'm looking, things are going to improve in this country, but also let's continue to be professional. Let's continue to grow our knowledge in this marketplace. Let's make sure we attract new technologies, green technology, environmental issues. And if we do that, I think you see that our economy will continue to prosper. And then people will also increase in terms of number of employment.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. Mr. Wairegi, thank you very much for taking your time this morning to speak to us here at Metropole Television.
Thank you, Simba.
Fantastic. That is Mr. Peter Wairegi, who's the chairman of Kenya Professional Reality Association, on the importance now, more than ever, that you as a consumer, you should be demanding that anybody you're dealing with in the real estate sector belongs to a professional body, and why you as a player also in the real estate sector needs to belong to a professional body, because customers will start to demand for it soon rather than later. All right, we take a short break here on Business I Am. Once we come back, economic review.